Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Ace Attorney Apollo Justice Trilogy. I've been waiting to get home and to play this because I've been out, I've been doing things, and I haven't really had the chance. But here we are, we're doing this. We're gonna actually continue where we last left off. Yeah, because we left off on a bit of a cliffhanger during our stream. So I'm really excited to see what happens, and let's get down to it, shall we? April 20th. 1214 District Court 2. Alright. So last time we were here, Phoenix, as I called him, Deadbeat Daddy Phoenix, says something about there was a fourth person. And then that's what I remember. Oh shit. It's dude, homie next to us. Court will reconvene. It has to be homie next to us. Cause he was also there. Has our witness, Miss Olga, recovered? Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness. Perhaps Kristoff, this man. Let's see. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again. That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. Damn, he said, I don't care if you're tired. You're going to do this. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand. Very well. The witness shall take the stand. Okay. Hi, baby. I'm sorry. I know I was mean to you. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and poor loser? Not. Hey, yo! She switched up! People call me Olga Quickfingers Orley. Really? Oh, really? Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian. My last name sounds like O'Reilly. Oh, and my last name sounds like O'Reilly. There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Yeah! Sam! Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrication will have serious consequences. Fine? Fine. Alright, let's do this. Cross-examination. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy, Smith, hired me to do the best of what I do. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game as a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles, but winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. Why were y'all so mad at Phoenix? Just because he knew how to play poker? The plan was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands are revealed, Smith will call them out and search Wright. He will then pull up the planted cards, and the trap would snap shut. You swap the cards. Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it, it would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend will be dashed into pieces. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt on his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Until... Oh really? How drow. But it appears you made quite the mistake. A mistake? I agree. The trap was elegant, yet what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be to slip from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers O'Reilly. Oh, really? Alright, the witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil... Damn. Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. Okay, well... Why'd I say it like that? I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. Well, you're through being bad. Perhaps you could when you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about the trap and how it sprung. Why'd I say like that? I'm bad. Alright. The best laid traps. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was no good cheating defending. Huh, okay. Something about what she said ain't it. Surprisingly, frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect. I tell you, perfect, if that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking! Well, the testimony for what it's worth is all yours, Mr. Justice. Okay. Oh, I remember something that Phoenix said before. He told us what we should look out for is little, it's like little ticks. So like if they like kind of, you know, like mess with their hair or like even look around or something, that's one thing we definitely should look for. So we're definitely gonna see. Maybe she was doing that and I just didn't notice. Let's see if she was doing that. She's looking away. That night I planted the card like I was supposed to. She didn't plant the card. She didn't plant the card like she was supposed to. This planet card. Which card was it exactly? The trump card. The 5 of hearts. Let me guess. Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5s with the ace to make a full house. At least that was what you were going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruin his legend. I slid it into Wright's pocket. When was this? Why, before the match, of course, while he was eating. At the Borscht Bowl Club, we serve borscht and suckers. Remind me never to go there. Of course, the car was to make its great debut during the game. Like a good borscht and a good plot like a good borscht, a good plot must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. And the planet card was gone. The next moment, she's lying here. She's definitely lying there. Cause it's the way she's blinking a lot. She's holding her hair back. Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing, which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim. What was that just now? I sensed something? Something wrong, Mr. Justice. No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Yes! Miss O'Reilly, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? Me? Quick Fingers O'Reilly? Hiding something? To the defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. No, it's not. She didn't see the moment. She's doing the thing again where she's blinking, she's pulling her hair back. She didn't do it. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Wright hit. No, she didn't. I saw it with my own eyes. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? The witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly, she would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? It's like I could perceive her habit like I couldn't before. Sorry, I'm so in shock because like this is my first time playing the game. Like I know Apollo had this ability, but like to actually witness this for the first time playing, you're like, holy shit, this is actually like kind of cool. Perceive.
Gotcha!
This is cool. Miss O'Reilly, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself. Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part in your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says the part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's blabbing about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of the memory to show us? Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of crime. So what would remind her of the moment of the crime? Mr. Riley, whenever you recall the night of the crime, you scratch your neck. I noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind the habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left the most impression on your neck is this. Wait. Wait, pause. Did Phoenix chop this bitch in the neck? Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of the moment than this bottle, the murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you were the only witness, why would that make you touch your neck when you're in pain? Why would it make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you. This is a cross-examination, not a crosswalk. Hold on, wait. Wait, hold up, pause. It says home dude died to a single blow to the forehead. But did he actually, it wasn't his neck, did he actually... Wait. The witness's habits, they're completely irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later. Just trust me, now's our only chance to break her. Mr. Riley, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. Yet, I am knowing nothing. This bitch switched up real quick. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please, now. Fine. He's the one who did it. Oh, let's see. I went out of my sight until the cops got here. This is only if she touches the back of her neck. Press. But you didn't make the- hold on, wait. You seem uneasy. You try standing up here. Okay, her eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the way of his crime. He sat in a daze at the table until the cops came. Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So what do you think about her testimony? I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is... flawed. It's something... no. It's basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence. Because she says that Phoenix, like, he was in a daze, like he didn't know what was going on, but Phoenix was the one that called the cops. Phoenix sounded super calm, even though, well, correction, I can't say he sounded super calm because you can't really hear him, but like, he was, hold on. Can I not, like, what the fuck is this? What is this? The battery's being held with a piece of tape. Okay. Maybe I can, no? Okay. Okay, nothing, no clues. Alright, cool. That's crazy. Anyways, well, shows us evidence, Mr. Justice. It's evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. Didn't let him out of her sights until the cops got there. Shit, I should have saved. Oh, I was right! Miss O'Reilly, we have evidence. We have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made the phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl. I was right. I was right. So explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Ooh, she dropping everything. The man who picked up the bottle and swung it that night, it wasn't the defendant. We gonna get truth? Showdown time. You dirty cheat. Check his pockets now. It's gone. The car's gone. You lose. Justin Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Mr. Wright, and he hit me. So master of cheating you turned out to be. When I came to, the victim was already dead. Is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Where does this leave us? Madness. This is madness. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was hitting with the bottle, and I'm imagining all this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Nah, home dog is quiet. Mr. Gavin? Sir? I believe that as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss O'Reilly a big fat liar. 3 were in the room the night of the murder, the defendant, the victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled. The witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the announcement of the argument was murder. What? I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone is trying to frame me. Phoenix! What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright? Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person. This theory again. Your 4th person doesn't exist. Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal? And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly proved were provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said? The fourth person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color of the backs of the card. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there is one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I have that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo? Think you can figure out who it was? It's not me, I swear! Who is the fourth person? Why do I always get put in the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? Holy shit. Holy shit. He said, as I expected, he said he had dinner with Phoenix the night before. That would make sense for a fourth person to be there. Of course, he would have stayed and said, "Hey, I'll watch you play poker." Shit went down, and your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right. Christoph Gavin, you were the fourth person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the table, or the ones on the ones on the floor, the ones on the table. Didn't he say something about them being blue and red? But look, you can see the colors in the photo. Yeah, but when he said that the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It's true that the defendant was engaging in a game of poker with the victim, yet it was only that a game in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs withered in blue flames, know the final outcome? Whoa, Christoph? Holy shit. Wait. Holy shit. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin! Is something the matter? No, nothing, excuse me. It was just so sudden. Right, you weren't seriously accusing me, are you? Christoph? You know, even I never take a joke this far. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accuses his own defense attorney of murder. I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what do they have? Huh? There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is the truth? Is this the truth, Mr. Wright? Was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happen before the game of... How could anything happening before the game of poker be related? Y'all ever seen that meme That Demon Slayer meme where it's like Tanjiro and Shinobu looking at each other. That's me right now with Gavin. That is me right now. We're just like looking over each other and I just look away because I know. I'm not sure I follow Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly. Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Okay. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? Oh, shit. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, I don't know. Hey, I don't know. Hey, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Okay, and I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. E2 Justice. You would betray me, your teacher? I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Ayo? Mr. Gavin! You were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder? I dealt with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will, I had become involved in the murder. I thought I might be in need of an attorney, or of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. Thought my office was doing you a favor when we took you on your defense. Pierce said I was wrong. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice. Sir? He's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Alright, cross-examining. Let's do it. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner and we sat at the table in the photograph. Alright. You had dinner with Mr. Gavin. Yes, he dines with me at the Borscht Bowl quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot as usual. So he's a frequent diner. Usual? I always eat at the table closest to the piano. Let's see, okay, no, that makes sense. He was also sitting at the piano, or Mr. Smith was sitting. Okay, the remnants of the meal, my note. Really? Okay. So these were remnants of his meal with Kristoff. Shady Smith probably came up, sat down, and said, hey, let's play a game of poker. I heard you're really good, you know? And so Phoenix was like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. We dined for 2 hours, then Kristoff left. After that, Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. Okay. When the trap failed... Wait, hold on. Okay, press on this real quick. 5 minutes. So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during the time. That would have been a faithful encounter, for sure. Oh, Mr. Wright. What was it you said? Kristoff, Gavin, and Shady Smith may have met? I believe I did say that. Here I was all nervous about this meeting, and now we hear they just passed in the hall? That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Well, it would be, if that were really all that happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? When the trap fell, Smith hit the waitress. Okay, about this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Aurelie mentioned, where she said the plan was to simply put a card into his pocket and then make it seem like he was cheating. Okay. And then the hands were revealed. Smith would call 9, search Wright. And then he would pull out the planet card and then the trap, yeah. And all that shit. And he was like, you swapped the cards, you bitch. Yeah. Just like that, the legend would be dashed into pieces. A harmless prank in a sense. It's by quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. Quirk of fate. I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Dispose? Where? Wait, hold on, wait. He said he disposed of it before the game. I'm trying to look in this picture, see maybe he disposed of it here? He disposed of it before the game. Yeah, where is it, Phoenix? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I'd been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. Oh my gosh, wait. No, it's okay, wait, it's not in here. It's not in here. Is it? No, I can't tell. Is it in here? No, it's okay. Oh, okay. I saw this and I was like, holy shit. Okay, so it's not in here. But wait, can we see? Can we like see in the pictures? No, we can't. Okay. I thought maybe we could see it. I literally just checked that shit. Yes, I rolled it and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see, huh? A battle of wits. Okay. Sounds like a terrific drama. A card inside the murder weapon. That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Mr. Wright, the poker head of Court 3 approves this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. I'm gonna save real quick. Something telling me to save. I wanna press this to him real quick. I wanna. Like, dog, what are you talking about? I don't even see the card. Whatever, Phoenix. Okay. The girl was knocked unconscious and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. So, you made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. It was just the middle of the night after all. So, there in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. And when you returned, the victim was already dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in. A little. He was bleeding from his forehead, after all. I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. It's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I obviously gotten into a rather sticky affair, and I figured Kristoff's law offices would give me a friend rate on my defense fees. Glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Kristoff. It was I who got you involved after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice. You know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him now. Yes, sir. I have to think. What's Mr. Wright trying to tell me in this testimony? The truth has to be in there somewhere. Okay. Okay. I'm just present. I was right. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. Huh, no? What, Mr. Wright, surely isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? Perhaps the fifth person came and took it out. Oh, and a sixth person could have helped. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honor. I haven't had any... I won't have you I won't have you fuck up our investigation. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing. So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh. Push him harder, Justice? Break him? It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Why are you switching up on me all of a sudden, bro? What? Huh? I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore. Dog. Wait, I'm so confused. My tongue had bust from his forehead. I was right again! Wait! I was looking at that, I was like, something's telling me to click that photo for some reason. Because Phoenix, you would have seen him with the hat on. You wouldn't have been able to tell he had blood coming from his forehead. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Justice. Oh, what do you want? Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put the hat on his head. You put the hat on the dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright, just like in this photograph. And I picked up his head off the floor and put it on his head. Why would you do such a thing like that? All I can say is, I'm sorry, but that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So Miss O'Reilly, so Miss O'Reilly didn't have to see it. It being the victim's head. I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Okay. Here we go again. Mr. Gavin. Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Wow. You certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Kristoff. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with Defense Attorney Gavin after calling the police, just in case I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I have no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. A gentleman who challenged you. He turned out to be no good. He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? No, please. The cops could be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Bone china plate? Kind of porcelain. Very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to the certain gentleman's balding forehead. There was no way he could have known Home Dog was bald unless he was the one that hit him upside the head. There was no way he could have known because Home Dog, Shady Shim, had the hat on. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion and not... Wait, sorry, what? The defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a minute, something's not right about the phone call. So, after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club. Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china pates? Oh, that's right. Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene, and when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court? Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason? The reason why you put the victim's hat back on? Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix Wright. Order! I will have order! Mr. Payne! Yes, Your Honor! I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear Defense Attorney Gavin's testimony? We'll break for 10 minutes, after which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Oh, crystal clear, Your Honor. This will be the final recess for the day. Holy shit. Oh my gosh. Hey, cat, stop trying to drink my damn water, bro. Alright. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chambers. Who would have thought that today would turn out like this? May I? Hi, baby! What? Hello, sir. Please pick a card. What's all this about? Is this one okay? Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. A trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all. An A. What do I remember this card from? Right. And she started freaking out because she was like, where's the fifth ace? The missing fifth ace. Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood? You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it. This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth. I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl, I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. It's the baby! Y'all, I don't think you understand how much I love Trucy. I love Trucy so much, bro. She's so cute. April 20th, 2:45, District Court, courtroom number 2. Alright, so I didn't realize that my recording stopped. And so I went through the entire trial. Like, I thought I was still recording, like I was going through I didn't finish it yet. Right when I think I was about to get to the end, that's when I noticed, oh shit, I don't think it's recording. So, also my phone was dying, so we had to switch to the PNG. Let's go. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue this. I actually I did go all the way back to I went all the way back, so that way it would, because I was like, it's not fair to you guys if I just go ahead and like kind of come back. I'm like, oh, it stopped recording, but I'll tell you who's the killer, because we all have to go through this together. But I'm willing to go back through this. April 20th, 2:45. All right, let's do it. Court will now reconvene. Defense attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Also, sorry, I'm also checking in the background to make sure that this is picking up. Alright, Defense Attorney Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. With Mr. Will Mr. the witness state his name and occupation? Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Like, Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Objection!
I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright! What do you think you're doing, right? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off, except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit. Oh! When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was laying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. In other words, I must be the real killer. Is that what you're trying to say? Not bad, Apollo. Mr. Gavin? I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the crimes or in the events of that fateful night? The rage I sensed from that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window in the hideout. It must have been right before the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appeared in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright, holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed it was not the best place for me to be at the time, so I left. That's when the call came from Mr. Wright. So you witnessed the murder? For better or for worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantaged to your client. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the murder through that little window. Mr. Wright, you had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo? Oh! Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. Cross-examination. Dude, I'm getting like really into the acting for this. Like I'm really getting into the acting. I wish the original recording that I was doing I wish that was still a thing because like I was really getting into it, but you know we're gonna have to try to recreate that, so let's do it. Alright, that night I sensed rage coming from that man. I went into the basement and peeked through the little window. The victim. Okay, so here's the thing. There was the fourth person. There were only 3 people at the scene of the crime. Yes, as far as I saw at least. Then we're back to where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police? 2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Mr. Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
Objection!
There must have been someone there at the moment of the crime. Justice, I just said I saw no one. Not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. Yes, this mysterious 4th person who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose. Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap the cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you could show a reason why such a thing would be necessary. How can I show something I can't find myself? Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. 5th ace, right. Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point to a reason? And we sure can. We sure can. It's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. Then go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th card? Here's our reason. Our reason for him taking the 5th card. My reason is, this. Is that an ace? Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade. What? This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Could this be the missing 5th ace? Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock and trade after all. No, impossible, unacceptable. The court cannot accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of crime. Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo. At the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell on the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible. Oh? Right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now, I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see. This is baseless, contradictory, baseless. Oh, I assure you it's quite based. What? It's amazing, really, how a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime. In your head. Alright, now we're getting to... Now, this part I genuinely think is really cool, because you get to actually interact with things that happen in the crime scene without really interfering with the actual crime scene. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table, and before the killer swapped a card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given there was a drop of blood on the card, whose position in the diagram doesn't fit? Alright, so the victims, so from what I remember, the victims doesn't fit. Oh, isn't the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back into his chair. You think that any blood would have fallen behind the body, not onto the table in front of him? Huh. Take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood would have fallen on the floor, not on the cards. Oh, that's right. So, what does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh, man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. Alright, so we're gonna turn the chair around. Boom! The chair was facing the other way. It would have to be. So we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in the photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We now know that the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again, let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, or the second witnesses? So the location is the killer's location. That is weird now because how you extended your arm across. The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it'd be quite hard, yes. Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of the game? I believe a sufficient enough reason will soon come to light. What? There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting in this sitting shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Try marking on the diagram. What? But there's no way to put a marker where the killer should be. Don't worry. Let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing towards the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have been standing to strike our victim from the front? Right here. The killer had to be standing, here. You get points for flair. That's about all you get from me. I thought I was onto something there too. I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? It's simple logic, actually. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, that means at the very moment of the crime. Wait, I know. At the very moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation. Right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideaway immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Your Honor. What? There's one more thing your men should look for. Please, give this to the bailiff. Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom, after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. Let's forge ahead here, while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then the cupboard wouldn't be here, which means Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Okay. Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Huh? Oh, dang. Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradiction indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, or the witness, or the second witness? Which indicator is the diagram? It is the second witness, who is weird. About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. This cupboard would completely cover up the window of the stairs. Huh. That's right, someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What did you say? Oh, it's the coolest defense in the West losing his cool. Don't expect me to play along with your game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court? Exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order! This is a court of law and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigation team at the Brush Bowl Club. They've examined the cupboard into the hideout. Not my cat. Oh? And what did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there was a secret passage behind it. What? Yes, I believe I mentioned something of the sorts before. This is one of the tricks to the rooms many of our regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that. Something he mentioned it. The secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-ons. You never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So, the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht. No doubt. Just like our killer. Damn. Dude, I told you, I really enjoy doing voices and stuff in this game. So, like, obviously, if we are going to continue playing this, and I'm going to, like, really do a lot of voices and try to, like, basically brush up on my skills. You see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I need this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's hat was only off his head for a few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright returned from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Oh, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something. Dare I ask what exactly really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with Destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passage behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. Miss Olga O'Reilly was out struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy his evidence. A single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him, he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor, and the fact that they were all red. Well, seems this trial is taking yet another turn. I'm truly, truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne! Yes, Your Honor. The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Finks Wright, the defendant, he's hereby cleared of all suspicion. Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately. Objection! No need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me? The defendant is cleared of all suspicions? This is hardly time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. Not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. Legal evidence? Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoings? Of course, this bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking. How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints. Am I right, Mr. Payne? Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were upside down. I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court, in this case, demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down, and that is to hit somebody with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor. See how the codfish squirms to the last? Well, Apollo? Yes, your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. But I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that. Yeah. Just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to... Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really any other? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there, in plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain words? Oh, gosh. Dude, I'm scared because I don't know. Be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Gavin said that the court in this case demand an explanation. Don't worry, Justice. We won't leave until justice is done. Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down? This is the only one I can think of because Phoenix was drinking. He was drinking grape juice before all this shit went down. I was right. It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place the bottle on the floor. Place the bottle on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me, on the floor? Yes, now, reach down and pick it up. Without getting out of your chair. See? You naturally gotta pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers upside down. Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. Wow, I can't believe it was that simple. Recall our dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must remember. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like a murder weapon. Order! Now, what do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim that I switched the bottles? Where's your proof? Proof? Oh, as I thought, more baseless convoluted. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. Wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation for the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? Oh, yes. I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. What are you gonna do? Dust that for your fingerprints too? I'd be surprised if any of that were... Oh, I would be surprised if any were on... if any weren't on that hit. Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake, surely. That bottle wouldn't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me. Mr. Wright, that bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. And here we go. The bottle with the card. There's something inside the bottle. What's this? The card. It can't be. Recall the unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga, really? Yes, our little swindling bitch. I don't know what that word is, so I was just like a little swindling bitch. The night I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to, and Smith searched him. But that planted card was gone. The trap failed. Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planet card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in the piece of the testimony? I happened to put my card in the car. I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was a 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There's an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. Threw the card inside the bottle. A 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Oh, shit, oh, he's tweaking. He making shit levitate? I'll be shook as shit too. He just made shit levitate. That is all. Some motherfucker just made shit levitate. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney badge 7 years ago? My past is like my logic. Straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we can have this little tot-to-tot, or tot-to-tate, whatever it's called. What the fuck is it? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's called. Tot-to-tot, tat for tat, tat-for-tat, or whatever. This is insane. What about me? Don't I get to prosecute someone? No, you don't get to prosecute shit. I believe this time we've come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin? He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. I see. Still, one has to wonder why would he do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? None that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on that matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Shim, or Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. An odd profession to be sure, but I mean, that's all we know about him. I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor. Good. Mr. Wright? Yes? 7 years. You still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man of such significance for me, both as a friend and as a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed two things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated, this courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? It was a dark time for our legal system. Twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial court system or trial system. You have to set it right. Mr. Wright. Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, it seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty! Let's go! Let's go! That's crazy, dude. Court is adjourned. Finally, court is over. We're out. Thanks, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Ability? Yes. Sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. I wonder if it means... I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is that true? Of course it's true. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? What was that, Mr. Wright? You'll have to find the answer to that question on your own. The answer. Right. Today was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Wait, you don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me, I met the girl whose picture's in your locket. Your daughter, right? That's right. She's my daughter. No, you were right about this locket. I took this off his neck. Now he died. But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's pre-jury! You testified. You said the locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo? Yes? How about come and work for me? Eh? You mean at the Wright & Co. Law Offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait, but didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes, but I'm not an attorney. I'm not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man. Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? Wait, what are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the forged evidence.
Take that!
You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yeah. That card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place. Luckily for us. The court can't accept this evidence. It's fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? I don't think the only person that could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the scene, the real killer. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then you really... Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene could have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do that, something like that, and you call yourself an attorney? Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumors is true? 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? I punched him. It's your stir from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office address. Drop it if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut? Try yelling, "Take that!" next time. I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved, and at the time I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, And this is how my story begins. Let's go! We finished the first trial. I'm so happy. We finished the first trial. Ooh. And I just got a achievement for finishing the first episode. Save my progress. Alright, progress is saved. And you know what? Just cause, let's get a little treat of what the next episode will look like. I want to get a little treat. I already know it's gonna be a long video, but I just kind of want a sneak peek. Episode 2, Turnabout Corner. Just a sneak peek. Just a little sneak peek. That's all I want. As long as we draw breath, the wheel of fate turns. Oh. Wait, Druzy? The hell's going on? Spinning big crimes and little crimes together. And when the wheel stops, you die. June 15th, 9:12 a.m. Right in Cova offices. Alright, we're gonna save it for here. And we will continue. We'll continue this on another day. But thank you so much for watching. I've been enjoying playing Ace Attorney Apollo Justice so much, and I cannot wait till we get to the other games, because like I love the Ace Attorney series. I really want to get to Spirit of Justice and Dual Destinies, because those are 2 games that I really want to play. So once again, thank you so much for watching this video and checking out the first episode. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later in the next video.